I'm coming to you from my kitchen, and this week's topic is meal planning. It's something that I consider really important if you want to eat healthy. And the reason I consider meal planning so important is because the alternative of going out for meals can get expensive, but more importantly, is not always the most healthy. And when you cook at home, that means that you are totally in control of what ingredients go into your food. But when you cook at home, that means that we need to do a little bit of planning. We need to do our grocery shopping and plan our meals. And that's what we're going to talk about. So first step is thinking ahead to the next week. I like to take it 1 week at a time so it's not too overwhelming, and that way my food stays fresh as well. So I like to think ahead for what would I like to eat this next week? And then I just make a list. And there are some cute things that you can do for this. I just use a plain old spiral notebook, nothing fancy. And I just make a list of meals that I think I would like to have for the next week. I write them down and I think about what ingredients those meals might consume. And if there's something that I need to buy that comes in a larger package size than what I might use for that meal, then I might consider, okay, what other meal could I have for this next week that would also use that same ingredient? Because in addition to meal planning, we want to be careful about our shopping and not waste food, i.e. waste money. So planning and thinking about our ingredients is important. So once we have a list of meals that we want to eat for the next week, then I use a different piece of paper, same old notepad, same pen, and there are some cute forms that you can get or books that you can get to do this, and that might be fun if you're just starting, but I just like to use the plain old pen and sheet paper. It works. Yeah. So I take my meal planning list and I think about the ingredients. And if I need to pull out the recipes, I do. I do use recipes, but in my older age, I kind of have a lot of things memorized and I just know how to make them. But I use Pinterest on my iPad a lot is where I like to keep my recipes. But I have a whole cupboard back here of recipe books, many from my grandmother, and just recipe books that I have collected throughout the years. But I only go to that in a funk where I'm trying to think, all right, I can't think of anything that sounds good for this next week. What can I make? So then scrolling through the recipe books can be kind of fun to get ideas for things. And then once you get done with your list and you go through the recipes and you make your shopping list, you can also, if you do this from home, you can check your refrigerator, check your cupboards, and know what you have on hand. It's important to know what we have on hand so that we're not buying a duplicate. I'm guilty of that. I have a pantry right here in this cupboard that has kind of really deep shelves, and so it's hard to know what's in the very back. So it's a good idea to kind of go through those shelves from time to time and pull what's in the back to the front so that you can use those things and have a first in, first out kind of a process so that your food does not expire. My sons will tell you I am guilty of having expired food and they make fun of me for that. It's just that time goes by so fast. Who knew it would expire before it could even be used? But let's try to avoid that and use a first in, first out kind of a process and meal plan. So I like to do my meal planning on a certain day of the week and my shopping on a certain day of the week as well. Then I come home, it's like that's my day, and because going to doing shopping, Costco and also the grocery store, which is kind of my how I do it. Then I have to unload and come home and unload at home too. So that can be a little bit of a workout, but it's all good if you know exactly what you're doing and have a plan. There's no wasted time. So I encourage you to make a plan for what you want to eat this next week, write it down, and then make your shopping list and do your shopping accordingly. I hope that this is helpful, and I'll see you next week.